SpotlightHigh.com was founded to bring local sports information to fans and sports enthusiasts.
Good luck to you next week.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That will be up there tomorrow morning.
That's cool.
All right.
Never done that before.
Coach Johnson of Spotlight High had the privilege to sit down with Coach Topher Ellis at Coastal Sports Center in Norfolk, Virginia.
Play ball!
Now with Christopher Topher Ellis. He's better known for Topher. Coach Ellis, tell me about Coastal Sports Center. It's got a lot of things going on back here.
Absolutely.
Just give me a nice little scenario of what y'all do here at Coastal.
Sure. So as you can see behind us, it's a lot of baseball right now. We work with baseball, softball, soccer now, even football. And we do everything from your traditional cage rental to private instruction, and then over here, which you can't see with the camera, but we're doing a little bit of weight training as well. You know, we do a lot of the same types of things that other sports facilities do with regards to camps and clinics, academies, things like that. But you know, our difference maker is really the people that we have involved here, the instructors, and the quality and reputation that they have, as far as where they've been, what they've experienced, and how they treat their athletes that they work with. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we do is we provide sports instruction to youth athletes, and sometimes even up to the college and professional level. You know, that's what we do on a daily basis, and you know, I get to call this my full-time job.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, it's a fun full-time job to be on baseball all
Well, this
day.
is the fun part of it.
Yes. And I'm quite sure you got some paperwork you got to get done and all that sort of thing.
Sure.
Not only that, I have personally seen just baseball and softball, I also seen football camps hosted here too. So y'all open yourself up to the community. Talk to me what you give back to the community.
Well, we do a lot of things to try and help out not only the athletes that we work with, but their families, and even travel sports teams in our area. You know, we do sponsorships where we'll, you know, give a set amount of money for a team to go play in a tournament, you know, and just to say they call us their sponsor, kind of a thing. But we try and give back in that way. Just recently, one of our instructors is also a full-time administrator at a local school in Portsmouth, and one of his students' families had their house burned down to the ground, and everything in the house was gone. And so, fortunately, we have a family feel in here to where I could say, hey, listen, you know, we've got this family that needs our help,
right?
And so, as a business, we were able to donate a certain amount of money, but as a family, we actually had one of the kids that works here, his mother works for a business that decided to sponsor this family for Christmas. And so what they did is they got gifts for all the kids and the parents, and then they covered a couple months of membership to the facility, and you know, just to try and ease the burden a little bit, you know, pay for meals and things like that. So, you know, while we're trying to give back to the community, it's not even us as a business, it's just the people that come here, you know, will come together to help others. So like to me, that's what this whole thing is about. And that's just one, you know, cool example of it.
That is a great example of just some great-hearted people in the neighborhood is coming together for somebody that had a tragedy.
Sure.
And you know, I think each and every one of y'all, what y'all do for y'all community, I really do. Talk about baseball. I think in the past that I've experienced, my little short time here, is that baseball and just sports these kids are getting better. And having a facility like Coastal, I think it's making kids better because they come in as 5 and up, but when they go try out for high school, they got better agility. Their hand and eye coordination is better. Talk to me and break down the little things that what you make a kid come in here that don't know anything about the sport. How you make that kid very aware of baseball.
Sure. So, I think you bring up a very interesting point just about youth athletics and coming into these types of facilities, because when you and I were kids, they didn't necessarily have places like this. No. There might have been one in a 150-mile radius. Yes. But nowadays, we've got a facility. There's another one down the street in Norfolk. There's a couple in Virginia Beach.
Yes.
And what they all have in common, or hopefully have in common, is we just want these kids to experience sport, experience what sports teach them.
Right.
Life lessons. The old saying, that the lessons that you learn in sport will live on long after you're done playing.
Right.
Is really true.
Yes, it is.
But when we have new kids come in here, 5-6 years old. Actually, I'll give you an example. When we first opened in January of 2018, we had a 4-year-old. The father approached me and said, "Hey, I got a kid who absolutely loves the sport of baseball. Like, he likes to pick up the wiffle ball bat and swing it. We live down the street. We want a place to train, and just to see where it takes us." Well, now we're 3 years in. The kid's 7 years old, and he's phenomenal. Like, not even thinking in terms of, he's going to play professionally or anything like that, but he's just so confident about the things that he can do. And, he learns how to be a leader from that, because he's a little bit better at certain things than maybe other kids his age, so then he can teach them.
Yes.
John, you can come this way. So that he can pass that stuff along.
Yes.
That's stuff that's going to stick with him forever. And, so that's kind of what this is about for the young guys, is really just to show them baseball skills, but to teach them to have fun while we do it. Sorry, my mask keeps coming down.
You're fine.
To teach them, to have fun while they're doing it, to enjoy every part of it, because it's not necessarily always about, am I going to be able to hit home runs on Saturday when I have games?
Right.
It's about, did I have fun with Coach so-and-so Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of that previous week, just trying to get better.
Yes.
And we have seen that. We've seen kids, like behind you is a 6'6" junior at Ocean Lakes High School who has aspirations of playing college baseball.
Right.
And I only got a hold of him maybe a year and a half ago, and he's been working with some of our instructors in here and playing for one of my travel teams.
Right.
And there's no doubt in my mind he's going to play college athletics if he chooses to. And that's because of the work ethic that these guys learn to instill in themselves, not just in here, but just in sports in general.
I think you said a key word, and I'm an old coach myself. From little kids, y'all giving kids confidence, because when they come in here and drop a ball or don't hit anything or things like that, you and your staff build that confidence in that kid. So by the time they can go out for a travel league, out for a high school league, or just have dreams of playing in the major league, they already have it.
Right.
They have it from coaches like you and your other coaches. I think that's outstanding.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's outstanding.
Well, and it's not even, baseball in particular is one sport where, like some of the others, but more so in baseball, is that you fail a lot. And in order to be successful, you've got to be able to learn how to handle that failure.
When you say fail, you mean like strikeout?
Strikeout, or drop a fly ball,
right?
Or get thrown out at the plate, or whatever it is. There's plenty of opportunities in the game to fail, but there's also plenty of games or moments in the game to be able to flip the page and succeed and turn it into a positive.
Yes.
And it may not be in that game, and it may not be in that season, but eventually you'll get the chance to, prove somebody wrong or prove yourself, to be able to do something.
Yes, that's outstanding. if a parent come bring a kid in here, let's say about 7, dad say, hey, my kid been hitting balls in the backyard far, far, far.
Sure.
But the kid tell you, I don't want to be a power hitter. I want to be a pitcher. How would you break that down to dad or to the kid? Or how would you find that kid's strength? Is he a power hitter? Or is he a power pitcher?
Sure.
How would you find that out here?
So right now in the COVID time period where we don't have spectators, so parents stay outside.
Right.
It certainly makes the dynamic of running lessons a little bit different because
I'm smiling in this class
I can
because
tell.
I can
see
about
the ears
that,
because you're not getting that outside noise, so to speak, where kids
or the kid looking over his shoulder telling you, I want to be a pitcher. I want to be a power hitter.
Right.
Looking over at his dad, I want to be a pitcher.
That's where the honesty comes in, and what you find is that a lot of times the kids are very much wanting to go in a different direction. I have guys that came in here as outfielders that want to be infielders.
Right.
I've got kids that come in and they're pitchers and they want to catch.
Yeah.
And I guess to answer your question, how we would handle it, because it does happen often. It may not be a position change, but sometimes it's a parent says, well, he needs to work on this, this, and this. And then from our standpoint, we've got to evaluate based on what we know and what we have experienced through our careers, and then try and do what we think is best to help, the child improve.
Right.
But what we try not to do is to get so caught up in the mechanics of it all to where kids are paralyzed by the constant feedback or criticism as to what they need to change.
Right.
Because positive reinforcement is also just as influential as saying, hey, little Joey, you did this wrong.
Right.
This is what you do need to fix it. You can also say, hey, you threw that one really well, or you hit that one really hard, and it can have the same positive impact. So, we don't typically have kids that come in and say, well, I want to be a power hitter, or I am a power hitter, and then I have to evaluate that. Because at the end of the day, we want every kid that comes in here to be a power hitter,
Right.
And we don't know what they will be. At 6 years old, they could be the smallest, weakest. Take me, for example. I've always been this size, very small. And, when I was, 7th, 8th grade, I wasn't a very good player. I mean, I had always been around really good coaches and really good teammates, and the atmosphere that we try and foster in here, I was around that.
Right.
And so it forced me to try and improve regardless of what my raw ability was. And then turns out I found out that I had bad eyes or bad vision, and ended up getting contacts going into my freshman year in high school. And then the game changed.
Oh, I know.
Like the game
bet it
changed.
did. I bet it did.
And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, well, all these things that they were teaching me, like now I can actually see the ball and do it.
Yeah.
And it just, it clicked for me. Another example is a guy like Chris Taylor, being from Cox High School, and now he just won a World Series, and he was a freshman in high school when I was a senior. I was at First Colonial, he was at Cox High School, and if you'd asked me who Chris Taylor was when I was a senior, I wouldn't have been able to tell you who he was.
Right.
And that just goes to show that at that age, you just don't know. You just don't know.
I used to tell parents that all the time. As coming in as 9th graders, they come in running AAU and blowing out their division. I used to tell them that they run into people the same age. A freshman can run against somebody that's a senior, and they might be 18 years old.
Right.
That's a difference.
Sure.
And they were like, my child can't keep up. Your child is doing fine for his age, but he's running somebody that's 18 years old, Yep. So I think that is great that you broke that down for that young man coming in at 9th grade, and y'all didn't know who he was, and now he got a World Series ring.
Sure.
You know, that is outstanding.
Well, you know, and one of the things that we've tried to establish here, and I had mentioned to it on the phone with you the other day, was that, you know, we run college coach showcases.
Yes.
Basically, where high school athletes that want to play in college, they come out and we take them through a workout.
Right.
And you know, when we try and get them in front of those coaches to try and establish some kind of relationship, or even just start a conversation between the two, so that hopefully if things match up, you know, they have a chance to play at the next level.
Yes.
and go and study in college and get the diploma and all of that. And you know, that's just one other aspect of the whole thing. You know, if we can, the more kids that we can get there, the more successful I feel like we are as a business. Because you know, money's great, but if you're not helping people and you're not you know, doing things the right way, then none of it really matters.
Yes. And that was kind of something. My next question is how many kids that you see, not just in this program here, but just programs in the community that benefit kids, something like this, and they also, you see the increase of going to college playing ball, the increase of just going to professional like the young man did. It's a big help, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, like we talked about earlier, with there being a lot more facilities like this in our area than there was 10 years ago.
Yes.
And it's not just one sport. They have resources like this for athletes for every different sport.
Yes.
And you know, you can, particularly in the 757, is you can you know, look one way and look the other and find athletes who came through something like this or are currently going through it, and it's the reason why they've gotten to where they are. You know, we've got a quarterback coach that comes in and he you know, he works with high school athletes and guys that are committed to UVA and Virginia Tech, and then we've got a track guy that comes in and he's got kids going to Baylor and to Texas, and you know, we've got a softball coach who's got girls that are, you know, looking at Alabama and like some of these big schools, and it's just like that's probably the best part of the job, is just seeing the improvements that the kids make and what kinds of doors those improvements open up.
Yes. I love it. And I really thank you for what you do for your community. Not only that y'all are teaching kids the basics and beyond, but y'all also a big part of the community. And here at Spotlight, I'd like to thank you and the rest of the staff for what you do for your community.
I appreciate it a lot. Thank you very much.